doing tonight? Doing well, feeling good? Having a good Father's Day? I know my husband had a good Father's Day. I did something rare. I actually brought my A game during sex. Now, you know that sounds cruel. You're like, you don't bring your A game during sex? And I don't. I bring my B game, because that way if I'm having an off night, he won't know. I save my A game for those special moments, like when there's a $100 handbag that I really, really want. The women here and other are like, yeah, that's when I brought up my A game too. I'm a karaoke whore. I spend way too much time singing other people's songs in bars because I like hanging out with bar people. The other night I got rob-based for the first time. True story, I was standing there talking to my friends and some creepy guy walks over and gets behind me and he says in a deep voice right up against me, "It takes two to make a thing go right." It takes two to make it out of sight. Well, I was dumbfounded. I kind of stood there and like, okay, if I don't move, he'll go away. And when he left, my friends asked what he said, and he was like, dude, you were just rob-based. He's like, did you give him the automatic response? And I said, there's an automatic response to being rob-based in a bar? And he's like, yeah. So later, when I was leaving the bar, I saw the guy, and I walked up to him and said, I want to rock right now. I'm rob-based and I came to get down. And then I went back to my conversation and he came over to me, dumbfounded, and he's like, what does that mean? And I said, I don't know. It seemed to be the appropriate response to your come on earlier. Ladies, have you ever been in an awkward situation with guys, like you're out and you're partying and your friends and they're a little bit too drunk and they're hitting on you and you're like, dude, it's not gonna happen. I don't get that drunk anymore. I've built up a tolerance over the years. It's really, really sad, but you can't get me that drunk. And they keep going on, and finally I decided I was gonna shut him down. I gave him the ultimate shut you down line. I told him, I'm like, dude, all of this is just lowering my estimate of you as a human being. And I just knew that would shut him down. He's like, nah. And later he wanted a ride home, and I'm like, I'll give you a ride home, sweetheart, but just understand this. It is what it is. A ride home is just that. I drive you to your house, I open the car door, and you get out of my car. And he's like, nah. He's like, you're gonna drive me home, and I'm gonna get in the back of your minivan, and I'm gonna get naked, then you're gonna get naked, and it's gonna be 15 minutes of wonderful. And I'm like, really? 15 minutes? That's your best line is 15 minutes? I don't do anything for 15 minutes. 15 minutes just pisses me off. You might wind up with some aggressive shit that you're not expecting. Like, no, get back down. No, you're not done. The night will take a weird turn from romantic to sadomasochism. I'm a non-practicing bisexual. Think about it. When I was in college, I was all bi, and I was really out there with my bi, and everyone always thought I was hitting, guys and girls always thought I was hitting on them, and I'm like, no, I'm bisexual. That means I have access to 100% of the population. Therefore, I can afford to be way more choosy than you can. Ooh, some people didn't like that one. They're like, is she insulting me? Ever have one of those days that you just want to let your inner college girl come out and make really bad life decisions? We got cable recently. We got it for free for a month, and I told them, you know, after this month we're gonna get rid of it, right? And they're like, well, just try it for a month and let us know. And I'm like, I can let you know right now. When it stops being free, I don't want this shit. I didn't have it before, and I was fine. So, but I like watching shows. I'm actually going back and catching up on Weeds. I don't know if you've seen it on Showtime. Nancy Botwin, the worst fucking dealer out there. She makes every female dealer in the world look bad. She basically screws her way out of every situation, and I love watching the show, so I can, like, really? That's the choice you're making? But I came up with a new concept that I really want to see take off, and I think it would work. I want to have something that's called Violence TV. It'd be pay-per-view, $24.99 a month. And what Violence TV is, the absolute sickest shit in the world out there, I want to have it on there because I have a great advertising campaign to ensure that people watch my network. I would have the 700 Club and the Religious Right come out against it saying how horrible it is, and that guarantees me viewership. And I have a great ad to get people to submit their videos and be like, hey, have all your friends defriended you on Facebook? Is your home video so sick you can't show them on YouTube? If so, send them to me. Telling you, I'll make money hand over fist. Give you guys just a little bit more before I go. I have several kids. I have 19, 18, 16, 7, and 4. Yeah, teenagers are just sad because they show you how non-cool you've become, because you'll find yourself saying things like, I don't think you should go to that party. No, I really think you piling into the car with like 8 or 9 of your closest friends in a Ford Focus is a bad idea and I can't get behind that. In the back of your mind, you're fighting it because you're like, well, if I was 17, that would be such a fun night out. I love my kids. My kids are entertainment. My son is like pure positive hope. My son, I don't know if he believes in just like speaking magic, but my son was walking around one day saying, Mommy's making me some cookies. And I'm like, what house have you grown up in? Have you ever seen Mommy make cookies? You're such a little positive being. But it actually worked because after like 2 days of it, I felt kind of bad for the little fucker. I'm like, okay, I guess Mommy will make you some cookies if you're going to be this damn persistent. He's funny. I can already tell my son's like destined for like middle management, because he'll come into the kitchen when I'm making lunch and he'll be like, Mommy, there's not enough jelly on that sandwich. And I'm like, well, you know what? I whip out a George Bush line. I'm like, Mommy's the decider. I make the decisions. I'm like, no, I think this is appropriate amount of jelly for a little boy. Then he's like, that's not how Nana does it. And I'm like, well, actually, son, Nana was the one who schooled me in all of my sandwich making techniques, and I'm pretty sure this is pretty much exactly the way that Nana does it. So then he gets mad and he snatches the little spoon from me and he's like, I'll just make it myself. And then I just smiled, and my little man's growing up, and I don't think he realized it, but that was the first step of his new life, because Mommy will never have to make lunch again. Mommy's just now down to dinner. It's noon, you're hungry, go in and make yourself your own damn sandwich. What I love about my son is that, like, even as a toddler, he was a little player. The first Christmas he could walk, we were in Easton Mall, and every time I saw a lady with stockings on her legs, he'd walk up to her, and he'd be smiling, talking to her, stroking her calf. And I'm really embarrassed, and I walk up, and I'm like, David, stop. Don't, ma'am, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh no, he's so cute, he's so cute. And I'm like, lady, don't tell him he's cute. Because at 2, this shit's kind of cute. At 16, this becomes assault and my baby's in jail. And unfortunately, I tell my kids the same thing that my mom told me. Mommy doesn't do bail. When Mommy gets paid on Friday, she'll come up and bring you a pack of smokes. I heard they work like cash in jail. And that's the best Mommy can do. I do have the supreme pleasure of bringing up a wonderful comic tonight. His name is, drum roll please, Dustin Meadows. Come on down, you've won your 5 minutes of fame.
Life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. Tell me what you want.
How's everybody doing tonight? Anybody celebrating Father's Day? I celebrated Father's Day. I got my dad the same thing he got me for every birthday. A shitty childhood and a glimpse of my bleak future. I'm just kidding, I didn't get him anything, he's dead.